Welcome back, everybody. So surely you remember the Taurus GX4. If you don't, it was the little micro compact that was Taurus's first offering in that size category, and it was the 2022 pistol of the year, or the Guns and Ammo 2022 pistol of the year. Now, this was a new design from Taurus entering into the micro category, and it got rid of a couple of things that people really didn't like about the G3 series, which was the restrike trigger and the external safety. Well, Taurus decided to expand on their micro offerings, which seems to be pretty much every manufacturer is doing, coming out with a new micro XL, which would be the G4X XL version. Gives you the micro compact style grip, but just a little bit more slide to work with. And apparently the GX4 XL won like Ballistics Editor's Choice or something, so it appears to be that Taurus has a little bit of a hit on their hand when it comes to the GX4. Before we get started here, I want to take a minute and thank all of my Patreons for the channel support here. None of this would be possible today without you, along with the main sponsor of today's video, which is True Shot out in Tempe, Arizona. Awesome people. They can handle all of your ammo needs. They supply all the ammunition for testing and everything that goes on here at Tactical Considerations when it comes to the range work. And they're just solid people. All right, now lead slingers, let's talk about what the GX4 XL from Taurus is and what you are going to get with this. This is gonna be a 9mm polymer striker fired pistol. Starting with those magazines, you're gonna get a flush fit 11 rounder and an extended 13 round magazine, which makes it very nice for people with larger hands that still wanna play around with the micro game. But you do get the option of an extended pinky ledge on a flush fit magazine with another included base plate, which is a very nice touch because then even the flush fit mag just gives a little bit more purchase for larger hands. The frame has a generous amount of aggressive but not abrasive sandpaper-like texture, which really helps control it out there on the range. For a micro compact pistol, it's got a very generous trigger guard and a very thick looking kind of triangular flat face trigger design to it. Moving out front, there is no rail for attachments, but I know there are companies making clamshell style designs such as Crimson Trace and I think Streamlight as well, should you need a light or a laser out front. Moving up a little bit onto the frame, you're gonna get those added reference areas with the same texture that's on the grip, which is very nice because it just gives you a little bit more traction during recoil. And if you still need to fit a little bit more hand size, you do get the choice of 2 different size back straps, so you can give it a little bit more of a personal fit. It has a reversible magazine release for left-handed and right-handed end users, and a single-sided slide stop and slide release. Up onto the slide, you will get nice front and rear serrations, which are pretty deep and very usable out there on the range. This will come in optics ready and non-optics ready versions, but you can have both if you choose. Taurus actually has complete optic ready slides on their website for $199 with all internals, and they come with a direct to slide mount in the RMSC pattern, which is probably the most popular for micro red dots. No plates needed, right onto the slide and you are good to go. The front and rear sights will be Glock pattern, so you can change them out if you desire, but they are metal. It's a blacked out rear and a white dot front, which will definitely get you up and running out there on the range. And to answer a question I know that is going to come up, yes, they are usable as backup iron sights when you throw your chosen optic on there. The barrel is flush fit for a clean look. It is DLC coated, which will wear far better than the raw steel on previous Taurus offerings. The look of the barrel is completed off with some design work on the side and across the hood to kind of fit the look of the overall pistol. You will also get a visual loaded chamber indicator across the top of the barrel to ensure you have a round ready to go. The slide itself is carbon steel and gas nitride coated for durability and hardness. And internally it has a capture dual recoil spring and is based on a chassis design rather than a traditional frame and parts design, which seems to be a growing pattern amongst more and more manufacturers. Now make sure you let me know in the comments down below if you want to see the GX4 compared against other things in this versus that video, say up against stuff like the Hellcat Pro or the 365 XL. I know some of you love that, and if you want to see it, leave me a comment down below. And for my full spec commandos out there, here you go, but this time with a little bit of yoga music to enjoy reading those specs. Well, now that the specs are out of the way, you guys didn't think I was going to cheat you out of looking at the trigger up close and doing some pulls on the gauge. So let's go ahead and check out how it performs right now. Good up close look at the trigger in the GX4 XL here. It's going to be the same as the GX4 if you've seen that before. So it's kind of got almost a triangular kind of shape. It is pretty wide and thick. The trigger shoe safety does go all the way sub flush right there, so it has a nice tactile engagement. Pretty immediate wall right there, very minimal take up, and just a good, clean, solid brake. Fairly short reset, pretty tactile, audible, and that braking in. Really no creep. I'll try to go a little slower. It just kind of brakes, so solid overall. Let's go ahead and do 3 pulls here. So we'll go ahead and bust out the gauge now and do 3 pulls on this thing and see what our average is going to be. All right, so first one is going to be 4 pounds and 2 ounces. Get that one entered. Try and get on the same place on the trigger shoe, which is right about there. That one came out 3 pounds, 14 ounces. We'll enter that. I'll pull a little higher up on the shoe, kind of in this area right about there, which is probably where most people are going to get their fingers on this, and see what we get. So that one went up to 4 pounds, 6 ounces. Got an average of 4 pounds, 2 ounces. So not bad at all coming out of the GX4 XL. A few hundred rounds really does clean it out. Well, that's just not bad at all for that trigger. Remember, this is a micro compact that's supposed to be shoved in a sticky holster in your pocket or in an appendix rig to be ultra concealed. So you don't want a ultralight competition style trigger on there. But let's get into some of that range talk, starting off with how this thing performs out there under recoil. I will say right up front, there is a definite noticeable difference between the smaller GX4 and the GX4 XL. And between the aggressive grip texture, the reference points out front, and that longer slide, the recoil is very manageable as long as you have a good solid grip. The trigger is good and performs quite well, and I will say it feels a ton better than previous generations from Taurus with that restrike capability. It definitely does lighten up after a few hundred rounds, and it smooths out quite a bit as well. The included iron sights are plenty to get you started with out on the range, and should you choose to start with or add the optics ready slide later at some point, when talking about ammo that was used out there, I pretty much did all the basic ball that I always do, several different companies, all of which were supplied by TruShot, and I did run some Spear Gold Dot self-defense ammo through it, all of which were eaten by the GX4 XL with ease. There is one thing that came up with the GX4 XL out there on the range, and it happened to me twice, but after diagnosing the problem, it didn't happen again. So basically what happened is I dropped the mag out while doing a kind of a multiple shot string 2 times out there, and after diagnosing the issue and finding out it was me, not the pistol, I figured out what I was doing wrong. So basically, based on the size of my hands, which you can see as compared to the size of the pistol right there, what I did was I wasn't paying attention to my middle finger right here, and as I was gripping this and shooting, my finger would work its way up, and with the pressure of my offhand on top of that, I activated the magazine release 2 times, and then I figured out I just need to pay a little bit more attention to my grip right there, and it didn't happen again, and it has not happened since that first range day. I guess that's just what happens when you have gorilla hands with a little bit of extra meat on them. Other than my grip, it was problem-free out there, which is pretty much what I was hoping for and expecting, having tested out the GX4 and really liking it. When it comes to the GX4 XL and the GX4 in general, it seems to be that Taurus listened to the market, not only in what those of us end users wanted in the way of texture, angles, the newer style trigger, and just the overall design of the pistol, but the quality control as well. They took that stuff to heart and they kind of designed the GX4 and now the GX4 XL. And I think that's cool that a company made such a stride from the G3 that I've seen be very reliable. I've tested those for a couple of years now. I just did a video. I'll link it below for you to check out. But the fact that they put all that feedback together and put it into the GX4 series speaks well about the company, I guess you could say, and the fact that they're giving us what we want and they're upping their quality at a price point that most of us out there can still get into, even if it's our first purchase or we just don't have a lot of funds to work with. What about what you actually get with the pistol? So it's going to come in your standard plastic case. You'll get 2 back straps, 2 mags, 11, a 13 rounder, a pinky extension, a little flathead takedown tool for breakdown, which looks like a GX4, and it's a keychain. It's actually pretty cool. And all the associated manuals and trigger locks you would normally get with everything else. Now, when it comes to price point for the GX4 XL, it was just all over the place from what I saw out there. I saw the non-optics ready versions for like $325. I saw the optics versions for $375. Then I saw versions that had like the Ride-On Red Dot and a couple of other brands on them already for sale that were at like $425, $435 or something like that. So price points just seem to be all over, and it could be because we're still in that holiday season almost, and people are getting rid of things or ordering new stock in. But it just seems to be that one place had a really low price and the next place was just a little bit more expensive. So definitely do your research for the best price. But overall, for what you are getting when it comes to the GX4 XL, I think that's pretty solid, and I think that's really where it should be, especially based on some of the other bigger names in the market that are a couple $100s more expensive. Now this GX4 XL right here is my personal one with that primary arms optic on it, and I do have the iron sight slide as well. That way, if I want to run an optic, I can run that, and if I want to run ultra slick one day, I can just run that with the iron sights. But these are my personal ones, and I will definitely be keeping them. Now, is the GX4 XL going to be for you or for everybody? I don't know. You're going to have to get your dirty little hands on one for yourself and see if it's going to fit you, not only hand size wise, but if you want a micro. I think it's a great way to get into the game for something that's proven to be reliable, and it is ultra compact and easy to carry. Make sure you let me know in the comments down below if you want to see some this versus that videos with this and other things like the Hellcat Pro or the P365 XL, stuff in that micro XL kind of category, because I think people really get a lot of benefit from seeing one thing directly side by side with another. And I think that helps people make a little bit of an easier decision, especially when things are priced so close, especially when there's sales and stuff going on. Now get subbed up, like that video, and make sure you let me know your thoughts about the GX4 line all around, and if you like what Taurus is doing. The only thing that's left is for you to get out on the range, have some fun. Remember, if you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready. I will see you all on the next one.